I feel very strongly about this, and I have got to get others that feel the same way so that we can show the leadership that we have strong support for that. And so my bill right now has over 120 co-sponsors, and we're continuing to work on that. We'll be working on that over the weekend, even as others are back in their districts. I'll be making calls. And the more that we can show our leadership that there is a will of Congress, and in particular our conference, to move this forward, I think we can get some action on it, perhaps even next week before we leave for the August recess.
Well, that right there, Congressman Diane Black in an exclusive interview with Newsmax Now recently talking about her bill that would freeze federal funding for Planned Parenthood. And joining me right now is John Gizzi, Newsmax Chief Washington Correspondent. John, always great to see you.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, good to have you. Congress, of course, is coming at this now from a few different angles, and you have an exclusive interview with Congressman Mike Kelly in your new column on Newsmax.com right now. And Kelly wants the IRS to audit Planned Parenthood. And quoting Kelly here in your article, if the reports are true that Planned Parenthood has engaged in profited from the sale of fetal tissues and organs, then this is illegal activity and certainly not covered by tax-exempt status this organization has under the U.S. tax code as a 501c3. Also, Planned Parenthood's president, Cecile Richards, also says they have broken no laws, but they have reprimanded those two doctors for their tone in those videos. But what does Mike Kelly hope to find by auditing the IRS specifically?
Well, specifically, Congressman Kelly, who totally bowled me over when he revealed that he was taking this new tact, said that he hopes to show that the IRS is clearly ignoring a situation while of violation of its own rules in the U.S. tax code, while at the same time going after political entities that someone within the revenue organization does not like, or I should say the revenue agency. And very simply, he points out, Planned Parenthood raised $196 million last year. Too often, there are fees for services to explain how that $196 million was spent in 2014. And as he said, what fees, what services were provided? This is clearly what's known at the IRS as a red flag, and he has formally written the commissioner, Mr. Koskinen, and requested an audit of Planned Parenthood. And again, this was a surprise tact taken by the congressman on Thursday during a hearing of a House Ways and Means subcommittee on IRS abuses.
Well, this could really, put the IRS under the microscope as much as Planned Parenthood, could it not?
It certainly could. And remember something, it's not just Cecile Richards, the president of Planned Parenthood. Josh Earnest, President Obama's press secretary, told reporters 2 weeks ago that it was his understanding the IRS had fully followed the letter of the law and broken no rules. Well, an audit will confirm or deny that. I might add, the story just did not end with the congressman talking to Newsmax or making his request. This has to be replied to and action taken within 30 days. I'm sure Congressman Kelly will keep us apprised.
I'm sure he will, and I know you will do the same as this moves ahead. I also want to talk about what this debate kind of did for us, giving us a little bit more insight into the ongoing rift between Mitch McConnell and Ted Cruz. There was a lot, I don't want to get into the weeds too much, but tying one bill to the other, Ted Cruz wanted to tie the defunding of Planned Parenthood to this highway funding bill. McConnell wouldn't let that happen. Cruz essentially called McConnell a liar. What does this tell us about what's going on in the U.S. Senate right now with the likes of Orrin Hatch saying Ted Cruz went way too far here?
Yes, Senator Hatch followed up over the weekend with an in-depth essay about why civility is so important to the function of the United States Senate. Very simply, I think this demonstrates that Mitch McConnell, considered one of the most qualified people to be majority leader since Lyndon Johnson in the 1950s, faces a problem that majority leaders of the past did not, including LBJ, namely that there are members who are going to speak out and are going to defy him, and their voice is amplified through the magic of social media, as well as the willingness of many senators to take what is said in the Senate and the clashes on things to the national press. It used to be we kept this in the family. That is certainly not the case today. The very fact so many people know about the Cruz-McConnell clash is evidence thereof.
Yeah, well, we know that McConnell's going to fast-track that Planned Parenthood bill. Maybe that'll give him some cover, but only time will tell. John Gizzi, thanks so much for being with us. We want to talk about some poll numbers as well, but we've run out of time, unfortunately. We'll have to have John Gizzi back to talk about this. No surprise there in the polls, guys, or maybe you are surprised. Donald Trump out in front of some key polls out now, except in Iowa, where he's trailing Scott Walker by a couple points. No coincidence. That's why he's turning his attention to Scott Walker right now. When we come back, Hillary Clinton has finally come out to defend Planned Parenthood, what she is now saying about the group that posted those videos online, and why other Democrats might not agree with her. All that and much more when Newsmax Now continues after this.